Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Behind me, 2010 Acura MDX, we're gonna be replacing the rear shocks. Now this is a pretty straightforward design, but when I was doing the other side, I was having an issue getting off that lower bolt. So we'll see if we run into the same problem on this side. Let's get started. First thing we wanna do is jack the vehicle up, put it on jack stands, and we'll pull our tire off. Our shock just has an upper bolt and a lower bolt. We'll get the upper bolt off first, 17 millimeter. So that came out pretty easy. Now let's work on our lower bolt. Our bottom bolt is a long through bolt that sometimes gets seized inside of our shock. So hopefully we can break it loose. It's a 17 millimeter, and I put our bolt back in on the top just to hold our control arm. I have a long breaker bar and our 17 mil socket. Let's see what we can do. Our bolt broke. I was not expecting that. On the other side, the bolt didn't break, but we did end up having to cut it off. So now let's work on extracting the rest of the bolt and getting our shock out. So this is the back side of our bolt, and this is our welded nut. For starters, I'm gonna try to break off our weld and see if I can punch our bolt through and not have to cut anything. Not sure if it'll work. Let's give it a try. I don't think that's gonna work. The weld is a little too solid, so let's cut it off. I'm gonna set you back just a little more. I'm gonna wrap our CV axle boot in a towel, a wet towel, so we don't accidentally melt it. There, nice. And just so you know, we're still at a point, if you don't feel like you can do this next step, it would be okay to take it to a shop and have them do it. Just drive slow and realize it may be a little clunky on your way down, but it's still drivable. Let me fire up my torch and we'll get this cut. You may be able to use an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. If you do that, you just have to be careful not to damage our lower control arm. Let's do it. All right, let me get my hammer, we'll knock some of that away. Yeah, that's perfect. So now we just want to knock this through bolt in just a little so we can clear our control arm. Let's see if we can do that with a punch. Give it a shot. Just don't have the room. Let me switch positions. Things might still be a little hot, so you can let it cool down if that's better for you. All right, let's see if we can get our shock out. Take this back out. There we go. Let's see if it'll come out. We can get a little pry bar. Let me try my longest one. So close. Use my medium one. Like we are so close. So it looks like I have to cut that bolt off just a little more in order to get it out. All right, I cut it just a little more. Let's see what that does for us. There we go. Got it. Wow, that was a lot of work. So that was the side that broke, and it's nice that it broke kind of inset, and then we cut this side and tried to get it as flush as possible. It's kind of hard because of that control arm, but that was it. So now we need a new bolt. If you look on our old bolt, hopefully you can see it, there's a stamp 10. That's the hardness of the bolt. So you want our new bolt to at least be a 10. This is a 10.9, so that's perfect. I also went with a bolt that had a little flared head on it, and the nut, same way, just a flared nut. That'll give it a nice solid contact. Now with our new shock, let me scroll you down. We want to take our new shock and we're going to compress it all the way down and then let it decompress all the way back up. It's going to take some time. Once it gets to the top, we'll compress it again all the way down, and we'll do that about 3 to 5 times. Once you've done that, let's go ahead and install it. Take our shock, slide it in, get our holes to line up. You could take a screwdriver if you need to just line it up a little better. There we go. We'll take our new bolt, put it through, and we'll bring this over to line up the other side. Just gonna tap it in a little. There we go. Perfect. Throw our nut on. We'll snug it down. The information I have says this lower one is torqued to 47 foot-pounds. Perfect. Now our top, we'll compress it. Bring it under and through. Let it decompress. There we go, that locks it in place. Now we'll take a jack, put it under the control arm, and jack it up enough so our holes line up. Now we're going up. There we go, a little more. That's probably good. Again, we'll take a screwdriver, just move this over, line up our holes. Maybe we can go up just a smidge more. There, nice. Put our bolt in, get it started by hand, snug it down. This is also 47 foot-pounds. After all that work, we are finally done. Good job. All right, that's how you're gonna place your rear shocks on your MDX. It's one of those jobs you just have to assess. Go ahead and give it a shot. Start with that lower bolt, see if it'll come out. If it comes out for you, awesome. If you're struggling like this vehicle, then you're gonna need some extra tools like a cutting wheel or a torch. If it's outside of your wheelhouse, no worries. Just take it down to a shop, have them do it, and you'll be back up and running. Hope your repair goes well. I'll have links in the description for all the parts and tools used. If you have any questions, comments, post down below. We'll see you on the next one.